everybody, and welcome to AQ's Blog and Grow. We're really happy today to have Mallorie Brodie with us. Mallorie is the co-founder and CEO of Bridgit, and we're going to ask Mallorie right now for just a little bit of a background on what is Bridgit and what is it that you guys are doing, and where are you doing it? So over to you, Mallorie.
Yeah, so we're a Waterloo-based company. Our team has now moved to being a little bit more remote. So we have team members also in Toronto and just hired our first team member in San Francisco as well. So a little bit more spread out these days. We're a construction software company. So specifically, we sell our product to general contractors and we help them with their workforce planning. So really just helping them schedule their project managers, site superintendents, to job sites, making sure the utilization rate of their workforce is good. They're getting ahead of hiring needs based on the projects they're pursuing. So really helping them just understand their workforce and some of their key needs and insights.
Wow, great. So you and your co-founder, Lauren Lake, you started this business, was it 9 years ago?
So yeah, so we launched the business in March 2014, but we started our research about a year before that in the construction industry. And that was with our first product, which was called Bridgit Field, which was for issue tracking on job sites. And this is now the second product that we've launched it in May 2019. So that's when the Bench workforce planning solution launched.
Wow, great. So for 6 years, you pretty much invested your time and your talent into the Field product, and then you did a sort of pivot into Bench, and how has that worked out for you?
It's worked out very well. So we were, incredibly attached to the Field product for, just the time spent, the customers that we have built up over time on that platform. And it was something that, really resonated with the industry. I think in a lot of ways, we really nailed that product market fit part of the business. The one challenge with it was the business model was something that made it difficult to scale, and that it was more of a project-based revenue model and not, the nice recurring SaaS, business model. So it was something that as we looked at our overall aspiration for the company, the fact that we were a venture-backed business, there was a certain growth rate and certain size that we wanted to get to, and it was going to be difficult to do with solely a project-based business model. So that prompted our exploration and research with our customers and with other people in the industry to understand what might be some of the pain points that are happening at the corporate level of construction companies. That would be more of an enterprise solution, more of a recurring business model to really round out our offering. So yeah, it's one of those things where, you went out to solve a problem, you solved the problem. And in our fourth year of university, we weren't really thinking about what the most attractive business model was to venture capital investors, but something we learned after 6 years in business. So
wow, amazing. And I know from looking at the records that in 2020, you went 2.5x of revenue. Now that's a big jump. Congratulations, and that kind of rewarded your courageous efforts to change Field into Bench. You're also slated, I understand, to go 2.5x again in 2021. So wow.
Yeah, Q4, the whole team is pushing right now to get there. It's been a super exciting year, and we've gained even more momentum in the construction industry. And I agree, when we decided to launch the Bench solution, we thought to ourselves, well, we successfully launched the first product, but were we just lucky? Was it, the perfect time in the market? There's all these different factors that you ultimately are still taking a risk and making a bet. And then quarter by quarter, as we started to get that momentum, we were like, holy, this is actually going so much faster. We're getting so much traction. All of these customers that we could have only dreamed of signing up, on our first product, we're now getting their attention. They're becoming customers. So it's just been really exciting to, reflect back on taking that chance, and it really has worked out for the best for the company, which has been great.
Wow. So by exciting, do you mean like you're waking up at 3 a.m. in a cold sweat? Is that the kind of exciting you're talking about here, Mallorie?
There is. I am very fortunate to be a fabulous sleeper.
Okay.
So I do not wake up in the middle of the night at this point, which is very nice. However, during the day, I think Lauren and I asked her, she just got back from vacation the other day, and I said, be honest, were you excited to come back to work after, your week-long vacation? And she said, I couldn't wait to get back to work. And I think after, being in business together for many years, like we are more excited than ever about the opportunity that Bridgit has.
Yeah.
And building the team has been so rewarding and such an amazing part of the experience. And so definitely a whole lot of life within the Bridgit organization. And I think great things to expect in the future.
Oh, that's great. Really, the entrepreneurial thing is a lot of fun. And I think most of it comes from the people that you get to work with that you wouldn't normally meet, but then all of a sudden you share a vision, and the camaraderie is unbelievable. I noticed you just added Victoria Baskerville to the team in the people area, and Victoria is a former MBA student of mine, and that's a good hire.
Good. Glad to hear it. No, yeah, we're super excited that Victoria just joined, and the people team overall is an area that we just believe we need to invest in heavily as we are growing the company, and it's just so critical to get ahead of some of those hires, just so you have the capacity to do what you need to do to keep growing the business, and especially being in having a product where we're providing workforce intelligence and data to our customers. We need to be on the leading edge of that internally as well, and very much in tune with our overall people operations and culture as a company. So I'm really excited to have that team grow and have Victoria join Bridgit.
Great. Good show. Now, what advice would you have, Mallorie, for startups? You're beyond a startup. I mean, I kind of cringe when I hear that Bridgit is a startup, because I know you've been working so hard on this for a fair amount of time, and I think you're a stay up that's evolving into a scale up, and your story is certainly backing up my theory. But do you have some advice on folks that are in an incubator right now, or are past that, or are getting into their first stage? What have you learned as a co-founder and CEO?
I mean, a lot of things. I'm still, we're learning every single day, even though we have been operating this business for a number of years. It's actually one of our core values is never stop learning.
There you go.
Again, in a high growth environment, your whole role is changing, every month, every quarter, et cetera. You're really doing a new thing within the organization.
Right.
It's really critical to Bridgit, and I think we can attribute some of our success to that. In terms of what I would recommend, so I don't shy away from the startup, being branded as a startup, even though we have been in business for a while, because I think it speaks to that mindset that you absolutely have to maintain. And even though we had a product that was successful in market for 6 years, we had great customers, we had that product market fit, you can't stop innovating and you can't stop looking for opportunities within the industry. Right. Because the industry is going to continue to evolve. There's going to be new entrants into the market. And so you always have to remain agile and very aware. So that ability to be sensing and scanning the market constantly is critical. And I think sometimes when companies get bigger and they get comfortable, they lose that ability. Right. So for us, one day maybe we're a 5,000 person company, and I'm fine with us still being called a startup if that helps encourage that mindset. So I would just say, to those entrepreneurs that are starting a business, really take note of the way you're behaving today, being, a 5-person company or a 10-person company, and make sure that you can maintain that mindset, even if you grow to a 50, 100, 200 person company, because it is critical. You can never stop reinventing yourself as a company.
Great. That is a fabulous answer. And I know companies that are 35 years old that should be thinking of themselves as a startup, because every day the market changes, every day the customer changes, and you do have to think that way. So that's a brilliant answer. Thank you. Now let's talk a little bit about this Series B funding that has just come through to Bridgit, 24 million Canadian. Where did that come from in terms of, how did you work with Lauren and the rest of your team to be in a position to get that kind of funding?
Yeah, so overall, I'd say the construction technology market has been picking up steam. It's something that when we originally started the business, the outside perspective was, the construction industry is not going to adopt technology. Why are you spending your time on this? And we've seen, a complete digital transformation within the industry, which is really exciting. And now moving into more like the data insight optimization phase of innovation within the industry, which we
Right.
find really exciting. So the whole market has been performing really well. We've seen that with, the Autodesk, who's a major player, their market cap growing exponentially. Procore's IPO was extremely successful. And so I think our organization was getting a lot of attention because of, the broader market dynamics. And then in addition to that, specific to Bridgit, the growth rate we were able to achieve, the really happy customers that we have on board, and our strong renewal rates were all factors in getting a lot of investor interest, which allowed us to raise the Series B over this past summer. And for us, it's something that, reflecting back on the first phase of our business, we were new to starting a company. We were new to the tech world. Everything was new. And we always felt like we were undercapitalized as a company to really execute and act on the ideas that we had and what we were hearing from the market. So for us, this is really, the first time that we feel like we really have the capital to move quickly, continue investing in this momentum, and continue the growth that we've been experiencing. So it's just such a big win for the whole team. Every single person at Bridgit contributed to us being able to do that Series B, and really excited to just be able to maintain that pace and that growth over the next few years.
Great. Is it earmarked for anything in particular, Mallorie? Is it going to go towards more product development or marketing, or what? Do you have anything planned specifically, or was it there to use in a general sort of sense to keep that momentum going?
Definitely some specific areas that we're focusing on. So product and development for sure. We'll be investing heavily in a data team to start really bringing to the forefront some of the people-related data we've been able to collect over the last couple of years.
Right.
Getting into that overall workforce intelligence positioning that we've started to tap into in the market.
Cool.
Lots of growth on the R&D side, marketing as well. We do have that product market fit with the workforce planning product. And so now it's making sure that we can get in front of every single general contractor out there. They know about us, and we can sort of accelerate that time frame before they sign up for our platform. So lots of sort of awareness building for our product now that we know that customers are using it, they love it, they're renewing, they're expanding. So time to kind of make sure that everyone in the industry knows who we are.
Yeah, there you go. So is this so far a North American play, or are you starting to think of Europe and Southeast Asia? What's up next?
Yeah, so we are North American right now. We do have a number of customers, however, that have an international presence.
Sure.
And so we expect that, as those customers expand and start pulling us into those markets, that will be sort of, the point in time that we consider more of an official launch in some of those areas. So definitely something top of mind. Construction is a very global industry. There's a huge opportunity outside of North America, but focused on North America for the short term and allowing those customers to expand, organically over the coming years.
Yeah, great. Now, speaking of co-founders, you and Lauren met in kind of an interesting way. You have known each other for years before you put together Bridgit. No, I don't think so. How did that all happen?
So we met in a business accelerator program called the Next Canada. They randomly paired us up on a team together. We had met earlier that day, and both really were hoping to end up on the same team. We got along very well, but it wasn't us. And so we ended up on the same team, connected on the similar family background in construction, and have been amazing partners ever since. On the topic of learning, I learn from Lauren every single day. I truly don't think we could have done it without each other.
Yeah.
So that's been an amazing partnership, and something that I think just for individuals out there looking to start a business, I personally feel like it's been so additive to the whole experience to have an amazing business partner to share it with and to work with it. So definitely something I would highly recommend if you can find someone wonderful to join.
Yeah, I think that's kind of important. I just love that part of the story where, she was an engineering student. Was it at Queen's?
She was at Western, and I was also
Western.
put in the business program.
Well, that's great. Well, Mallorie, thank you very much for spending time with us today. And just a quick wrap-up question. What's next for you? I mean, now that you've conquered the business world, where are you going to go? What's interesting you that you haven't quite uncovered yet?
It's pretty amazing how, we talked about this earlier, but just how excited I am to continue working on Bridgit. Outside of Bridgit, I have a goal of being able to touch my toes. So I started doing some yoga classes. My toes. I think I've been spending too much time sitting in a desk chair and hunching over and whatnot. So time to get some more balance maybe back in my life. And hopefully next time we chat, I can.
Yeah. Well, we might even ask for a demonstration. I mean, if it isn't in pictures, it's not real. But you kind of come from a sporty background, right? You had your own sports show as a high school student, I believe.
Yeah, high school sports zone, and I think I used to row, and I think that's what ruined the flexibility as fun as it was.
There you go. Okay, great. Well, please keep continuing to be fabulous because you and Bridgit are, and it's just a great story. And we're going to keep following you. And I know our subscribers are really going to enjoy this episode. So thanks again, Mallorie Brodie, co-founder and CEO of Bridgit. See you later.
AQ's Blog and Grill.